when one renounces all the desires, and then when one is in sight of himself, when one gets the insight about himself, when one gets the insight about oneself, that is knowledge. When one renounces all the desires and from his mind, when one renounces all the desires from one's mind, and when one renounces all the desires from one's mind, and then when one gets the insight about himself, then he is satisfied with himself, he is called a Sthita Prajna. He is called a Sthita Prajna, means a person who is clear without any doubt. Doubt-free clarity about the truth. Now, this is a statement. Then we need to understand really renouncing all the desires. Is it possible? All means what? All means without any exception. Now, is it ever possible to be a grihastha and yet be free from all desires? Is it ever possible to be a grihastha and yet be free from all desires? Is it possible? Can you be free from all desires? Even the desire to come to Ramana Kendra, because that is also a desire. The desire to eat, that is also a desire. Desire to rest is a desire. Desire to interact with your own near and dear ones is a desire. Hey, it's not easy. The paribhasha of desire has to be understood from 2 points of view, from the sannyasi point of view, from the grihastha point of view. From a grihastha point of view, a desire should be taken as a desire that is dharma viruddha kamaha. I am going to analyze this. You can just relax and hear. Any desire that is opposed to dharma, any desire that forces you to break God's law, any desire that forces you to break dharma is a binding desire. It is an unfulfilling desire. I call it as a wrong desire. It's a wrong desire. It's a much better to call it a wrong desire. A wrong desire, even when we fulfill it, it doesn't give fulfillment. A wrong desire, even when one fulfills it, it doesn't give fulfillment. Hey, even after fulfilling a desire, if it doesn't give fulfillment, then what is the use of fulfilling it? What is the use of fulfilling a desire which doesn't give fulfillment? That is the definition of a wrong desire. What is a wrong desire? A wrong desire is that which forces me to break God's law called dharma. We better understand this is the thing, and then afterwards, if it is within one's capacity to follow it, you can follow it at least. But we must get the facts right. Once we get the facts right, then it is up to me to follow them or not to follow them. कम से कम दिमाग में clear है. Even if you throw something in Ganga ji, वो गिन के डालो. कितना I have given this much to Ganga ji. Next time when you go to Ganga ji, you can really tell Ganga ji, why you are not blessing me? I have given this much. Similarly, Even when I flout some code, I must know I am flouting a code. That's clarity. Even if one commits a crime, he should know he is committing a crime. And then he can say, what can I do? I am so weak, I am such a weakling, I am helpless, and I have got so many problems, and I justify my committing a crime. But indeed, I am committing a crime. He is almost, you see, he is half right. At least, he is accepting, he is half right. The one who does wrong and says, yes, I am wrong, he is half right. He is half right. But supposing he says there is nothing wrong, he does wrong and says there is nothing wrong, he is doubly wrong. He is wrong because he does something wrong, and the second wrong is he doesn't even register, he doesn't even, accept that he is doing something wrong. He doesn't acknowledge. Therefore, it is important for us to get the facts right. What is it? Any desire, even after fulfilling it, it doesn't give me fulfillment, then it is a wrong desire. It's a wrong desire. What is a wrong desire? We will go into it. Any wrong desire. Like, for example, supposing you say, I want to do something without the knowledge of my wife. I want to go somewhere and spend some time with so and so girl, but I don't want my wife to know, vagera, vagera. This is what? That means you are breaking dharma. It is a breaking dharma. And therefore, even if you accomplish it, even if you successfully spend some time with that girl, then definitely it doesn't give you fulfillment. You always feel you have really done something unjust to your own wife. Therefore, it is not possible to go against dharma and still be happy. Duryodhana was all the time against dharma, but when did he become happy? I don't think he ever became happy, because he was not trying to conform to dharma, which sustains the whole life on earth, which sustains life in the creation. Dharma sustains life, it promotes life in the creation. Live and let live is called dharma. It's nothing. Live and let live is dharma. That means just as I respect my life, I respect others' life. I respect my happiness, I respect others' happiness. I respect my comfort, I respect others' comfort. That's what we want in this creation. We want this. Not that I am superior to you, therefore my life is more important than yours, my happiness is more important than yours, my rest is more important than yours, my time is more important than yours. I am a husband, therefore I am not supposed to work in the house. You are supposed to wash the utensils. Why? It is just a custom. A convention can always be broken. What is this? A housewife, washes the dishes and cooks food, and a husband, he is just busy with his hookah. Now this is a convention. This is not a rule. This is a convention. And conventions can always change. Conventions can change. And therefore, what can ultimately work in this society is, I am like others. Others are like me. There is no difference between others and me. Whatever be his religion or my religion, these are all silly things. Because our identity as a human being, our human identity is much more fundamental than our religious identity. You see, our human identity is much more fundamental, much more real than these so-called labels. You see? And therefore, it is this dharma that sustains everybody. any desire that you have conforming to dharma is the right desire. Any desire that goes against dharma is wrong desire. Bhagavan Krishna has defined it in Bhagavad Gita. I am not saying it from my own mind because I don't say anything. I don't have anything to say. I only keep repeating what the scripture says. Oh, Swamiji, you don't have anything to say. Nobody can have anything to say in addition to what is said by the Shastra. Nobody can say. Even God can't say a word in addition to what He has already said. You can't say anything extra, anything additional to the wave. You see, in addition to what you have already said. O ye wave, the what? In fact, water. The what, the water, the oceanic water, you have said it. Now say something more. Can you say something? Try to improve upon what you have said. Therefore, God also can't improve upon what He has said. If God Himself, who has said this, if God Himself can't improve upon what He has said, do you think you are going to improve on what He has said? And therefore, what is said is, well, every jiva, every individual is like, Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, any desire is beautiful provided it doesn't contradict, it doesn't run counter to, it is not against dharma. And that's important in life. And therefore, when Krishna says renounce all the desires, for a grihastha, what does it mean? Renounce all wrong desires. Because right desires are good enough to sustain us. Right desires are good enough to give us enough happiness. Therefore, the desire to eat and drink is a right desire. It's not against dharma. The desire to do one's duty, right or wrong? Right. The desire to look after your children, right. The desire to serve the parents, right. The desire to live and live in comfort also is right, because discomfort is not our goal anyway. Comfort is simple, it's a part of life, to live comfortably. It's not a big deal. Therefore, all desires that promote life, that promote peace, that promote education, that promote health are right desires. How can we renounce them? In fact, this is one definition. I have given one definition of right desire. What is that, if you remember? A desire that does not contradict dharma, that's not contrary to dharma, is a right desire. Okay, clear? Now I will define differently. A desire that you can never renounce is a right desire. बहुत बड़ी बात है जी. A desire which you can never renounce and still be alive. A desire which you can never renounce is a right desire. Like what? The desire to breathe. You can't renounce it. The desire to eat, drink, you can't renounce it. The desire to do your duty, you can't renounce it. The desire to be with your parents and all that, you can't renounce them. You can't renounce them as a grihastha. You can't be a grihastha and still renounce these desires. It's not possible. And a desire that cannot be renounced is also a desire that need not be renounced. I have said something more. A desire that doesn't contradict dharma is a right desire. Number one. A desire that can never be renounced is a right desire. A desire that need not be renounced is a right desire. And anything other than right desire is a wrong desire. आप अपने आप to find out. The wrong desires, anything that can be renounced, is a wrong desire. Can be renounced. Any desire which can be renounced without feeling remorse is a wrong desire. But right desires you can't renounce. There is no need to renounce. They are not to be renounced. They are not forbidden. You see? Therefore, when Krishna says, renounce a person who renounces all the desires, we should take it in the society, the one who renounces all wrong desires. I would like you to take it that way because Bhagavan Krishna also defines it later on. Dharma, aviruddhaha, kamaha. A desire that conforms to dharma is divine, Bhagavan says. A desire that conforms to dharma is divine. Why not? Why should we renounce desires which promote life? Desires which promote comfort, which promote mental peace, which promote education, which promote our life, which prepare us for understanding the truth. Why should we renounce the desires that promote life, promote peace, and ultimately prepare us to understand the truth? Why should we renounce such beautiful desires? Like the desire to live. Is it wrong? Desire to live in good health. Is it wrong? The desire to study. Is it wrong? The desire to be together. Is it wrong? It's not. And therefore, the desires which promote life, health, peace, education and freedom need not be renounced, cannot be renounced. Therefore, a Brahmajnani does not mean the one who renounces all desires, means all wrong desires. This is, I have defined. So now edit. What is said, you understand. Renounce all desires, don't blindly say, so Swamiji said renounce all desires, therefore I am not interested even in eating and all that. Don't get into all that chakkas. You have to be clear, bright students. One has to be bright in understanding the Shastra. If one is not bright in one's classroom, not a big loss. Not a big loss. But you have to be bright in the sense you have to be diligent in understanding your scripture. In understanding the scripture, the gain is enormous. In failing to understand it, the loss is enormous. Ihached avedi tata satyamasti nachediha vedin mahati vinashti. One of the Upanishads says, truth understood, your Shastram understood, great is the gain. Shastram missed out, great is the loss. Therefore, there is something important that's pointed out here, and therefore one has to be diligent, be receptive. Now, I made one point after defining what is the desire to be renounced. Now, I made one point in the previous class, that is, merely renouncing desire itself does not give me fulfillment. Even wrong desire, just because I renounce the wrong desires, I don't become fulfilled. Nor having desires is going to give me fulfillment. Fulfillment is not the result of the presence of desires or absence of desires. Did you follow that? Fulfillment doesn't result from either the presence of desires or absence of desires. Fulfillment is not a resultant factor. You have to listen to this phrase. Fulfillment is not a resultant factor. Mane, It's not a result of some action. When I clap, sound is a resultant factor. Sound is a resultant factor. If you move, covering distance is a resultant factor. Whereas fulfillment is not a resultant factor. It's not a phalam. It's not something, that's an effect. It's not something that is an effect. You do something and you feel fulfilled. You enjoy something and you feel fulfilled. You see something and greatly feel fulfilled. You hear some music and say, oh, I feel fulfilled. Or you talk to somebody, get greatly fulfilled. Or you get suddenly some money, you get greatly fulfilled. These are all illusions. Because fulfillment is not something that you can extract from forms and sounds and tastes and touches and smells. Swamiji, what about red wine? Red wine का तो कुछ फर्क तो होना चाहिए. Or do you club the red wine also with the rest? बाकी सब तो ठीक है. What about the red wine? Red wine also is like anything else. Red wine also, there are no special object. In this creation, no object is special. Every object is like everything else. This itself pulls you out of unwarranted curiosity about new places and all that. This unwarranted curiosity, because you say there is something there is something here. When you go there, it is the same thing, same space, same air, same fire, same water, same object, same thing. Nothing great. If you go to Switzerland, those mountains are not divine mountains. Not the water that you drink, there is a divine water. Nor the air is something different. Therefore, human beings always cheat themselves by imagining their fulfillment here and there. Maybe I'll become happy. Maybe I'll get fulfillment here. Maybe I'll get fulfillment there. In this manner, we keep on misleading ourselves. Nobody can mislead us except ourselves. Therefore, if fulfillment, so now coming back to the point, fulfillment doesn't come either from the presence of the desires or from the absence of the desires. Then what is fulfillment? Say it doesn't come. Then what? Fulfillment is already oneself. How do you know? Because that is what everybody wants. If that is what everybody wants, that is because that is what everybody is. In fact, we cannot desire, we cannot have a natural desire for what we are not. Bahut badi baat hai ji. It is not possible to desire for what we are already not. Everybody wants happiness because everybody is that already. Everybody wants to be free because freedom is what everybody already is. Everybody wants peace because peace is what everybody already is. Therefore, we are all the time looking for what we already are. That is a very important fact. Therefore, here Krishna says, Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha. Having renounced all the wrong desires, a person who has an insight about himself and happy with himself. To be happy with oneself means having discovered that one is a peaceful self. If I am a peaceful self, I can be peaceful with myself. If I am not a peaceful self, then I cannot be peaceful with myself. Therefore, to become peaceful with oneself means discovering that one is by nature peaceful. Peace is our nature. Serenity is our nature. Serenity is your nature. Like you, that is why, even here, sitting here, if you have a little, use your will and try to be quiet, you experience yourself to be quiet. You become quiet. Minus the restlessness, what do you experience yourself as? Quiet. Tranquil. Therefore, tranquility is what is there, eclipsed by restlessness, etc. Tranquility as though gets eclipsed. Tranquility doesn't get replaced. Clouds do not replace the sun. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? That's great. Clouds don't replace the sun. They only eclipse the sun. Clouds don't remove the sun. Clouds only eclipse the sun, don't replace the sun, dismiss the sun. The sun is there. In fact, we are able to see even the clouds in the light of the sun. Therefore, how can the clouds banish the sun? Clouds don't banish the sun. Clouds can only eclipse my sight. They don't even eclipse the sun, they eclipse our sight. Clouds come in the way of our sight of the sun. But the sun is there. In the same manner, the tranquility of our being, which is like the sun, is there. My restlessness comes in the way of my registering my nature. Did you hear that? Our restlessness comes in the way of our registering our nature, which is tranquility. Our restlessness comes in the way of our registering our tranquility, which is our nature. Therefore, like sound comes in the way of perceiving silence. Sound can't replace, dismiss, banish. Sound can't banish silence. Sound takes place in silence. It gets heard in silence. But it comes in the way of my registering silence. Silence cannot be replaced by sound. Because without silence, sound cannot be heard. Oh, buddy. Huge break, huge point. Without silence, sound can't be heard. Because every sound is heard in silence. Every sound is heard in silence. Because before every sound it is silence. After every sound is silence, even during silence. It's like before the thought begins, you are there as the one, as the conscious being. After the thought, you are there. During the thought also, you are there. You are not merely in between the thoughts. You are there in and through the thought. In that manner, the one who is there before and later, that person doesn't replace. In the same manner, the sun, it is not replaced by the clouds. The clouds only eclipse, come in the way of seeing the sun. You can put it this way. The clouds do not banish the sun. They only come in the way of one's registering the presence of the sun. Did you hear that? The clouds only come in the way of seeing the sun. Our restlessness comes in the way of understanding our nature, the absolute tranquility. And therefore, instead of taking tranquility, our nature, we take restlessness, our nature. This is the problem. We look upon tranquility a luxury, a rare luxury. We take tranquility as a rare luxury and take restlessness as our nature. This is the problem. Therefore, here Bhagavan says, hey, Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha. A wise man is happy with himself because he has understood the self is a peaceful self. It is ever satisfied self. It is a full self. Tranquility is satisfaction, tranquility is happiness, tranquility is peace. Like, when you fall asleep, the restlessness, there is zero restlessness. When you are fast asleep, there is zero restlessness, which means absolute serenity. Is there a sense of dissatisfaction in it? Is there something you miss? You don't miss anything. When you are fast asleep, you don't miss anything. It is standing, peaceful, absolute serenity. It is truth of your being. It is the truth of our being, and therefore, it is not a state of ignorance. It is a state of one's peace, ununderstood. It is not a state of ignorance. It is a state of peace. Nobody loves a state of ignorance. Everybody looks at the deep sleep as a state of peace. Therefore, everybody is drawn to sleep because it presents, the sleep presents itself as a state of peace, not a state of ignorance. There is no such a thing called state of ignorance. There is a state of reality ununderstood. When I don't understand a reality, that state is called, it is a state of reality ununderstood. It is a state of reality ununderstood. It is a state of peace ununderstood. It is a state of oneness ununderstood. Therefore, therefore a state of total satisfaction is our nature. Zero restlessness means zero dissatisfaction, means zero missing. There one doesn't miss anything, one doesn't get any because we always seek satisfaction, presupposing the idea that I am dissatisfied. This very idea that I am dissatisfied goes, then what remains is only fullness. I want you to think. How do you, this particular thing, it is limited because it has a limited form. How do you make it unlimited? Just, let us assume, let us use our intellection. How do you make this unlimited? In order to make this unlimited, just, it's an assumption. We are trying to understand a particular point is very important for everybody, not only you, even sadhus and sons, all great scholars must understand this point. And this point is, in order to make this unlimited, you can't expand it. By blowing it bigger and bigger, it is not going to become limited. Adding size to this size, it is not going to become unlimited, because when you add a given size to another size, it is still going to be limited. Therefore, the only way to make it unlimited is knock off its size. Bas. When it is free from the size, it is unlimited, because minus size is minus limitation. A wave has a given size and then minus that size, it is water, it is unlimited in that context. Pot has a given size, the space in it thinks I am limited to the pot, and therefore now, supposing you make the pot bigger, does the space in it become unlimited? The space inside a big pot, the space is big. The space inside a bigger pot is again bigger space. It is a bigger space, not unlimited space. Bigness is different from being unlimited. Bigness is a size. Biggerness is a size. Still biggerness is a size. Size is different. Man is not interested in a size. Man is interested in being size free. He is unlimited. He wants to be unlimited. That is why he closes his eyes and goes to sleep and transcends his size. He closes his eyes to his size. He closes his eyes to the body, which is a size. He closes his He closes his eyes to his mind, which is a given size. He closes his eyes to his house, which is a given size. In fact, he closes his eyes to the whole universe, which is a given size. He transcends the size and stands unlimited. Transcending limitation. The one who transcends limitation stands unlimited. The one who transcends time stands timeless. The one who transcends thought stands thought free. The one who transcends the form stands form free. Thus, every day's life proves to us that we do renounce our size and stand unlimited. Therefore, a wise man is happy with himself because he registers, he understands his unlimitedness. He understands his peacefulness, serenity of his being. And therefore, to be happy with oneself is not by Jabardast. It is not trying to be happy with oneself. Discovering one's fullness is called what is being happy with oneself. Okay, Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha Sthita Prajnas Tadochyate. He is called a firmly wise person. Now I am going to go to the next verse. I have defined certain useful things I have given. Please understand. Don't have certain complexes. Maybe we are having. You don't have to renounce all desires. Renounce wrong desires. Now, renunciation of wrong desires itself is not the goal of life. Having renounced the wrong desires, then get into your scripture called Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita, which points out to the truth of our being. Even if you are very modern, you are in need of knowing yourself. It is not that some old Mahatmas are in need of self-knowledge. Hey, what is this? People, only old-fashioned people want to be happy, or not the modern generation. I say our fundamental pursuits transcend times. Our fundamental search transcends yugas. It transcends times, it transcends ages, it transcends genders, it transcends lokas. Because a living being in primitive times wanted to be happy, medieval times he wanted to be happy, even now man wants to be happy, and even after another yuga the search is going to be the same. And therefore, if our search is ever the same, then our need also is ever the same. Our need is to understand that we are not so empty that we have to be eternally searchers. We are searching not because we are empty within. We are searching because we are full within. I am by nature full, therefore I want to be full. By nature I am peaceful, therefore I want to be peaceful. By nature I am happy, therefore I want to be happy. Therefore we are only searching for what we are within. Then why are we searching what we are? For lack of seeing that fact. I don't see that I am already what I am looking for. That self-ignorance really is the problem. I am not. My sight is ever with something other than me, not with myself. And therefore, having renounced the wrong desires, in fact, when you renounce wrong desires, you become happy. The immediate step in life. In order to make yourself happy, first renounce wrong desires. You don't be a slave to your desires. You have a certain control over yourself. Say no to yourself if you come up with some wrong desire. Say to yourself no. You start respecting yourself. In fact, before you want to be respected by others, we should learn to respect ourselves. And in order to respect oneself, I should be able to say no to myself. I should be able to say no. If something wrong happens, if I feel like telling lies, say no. If I feel like committing a crime, no. If I feel like being cruel to somebody, no. Why should I be cruel? Why should I be cruel to somebody? We are here for a few days, we'll all be gone. 2-4 दिन की जीवन है, why should I be cruel? Let me be nice, let me be kind, let me help. Therefore, saying no, if some hatred comes within, say no to that impulse. Say no to anger, no to cruelty, no to vices even. Supposing there are certain wrong things, say no. Leave it. If we can say no, then you become what? Respectable to yourself. And if you are able to respect yourself, I am sure you will be peaceful. When others respect you, you will be full of tension. Why? Because when others respect you, then you want to monitor whether they continue it or they discontinue it. Understand? When others respect you, you want to make sure that they continue to respect you. And once they discover here is your weakness, then they know how to handle you. Then they can show respect. Now they can show disrespect. And you want respect. Then you start giving them money. All right, I'll give you this much money. Please continue to show respect. This is called emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail. There are so many kinds of emotional blackmail. It's not merely love and affection. Even in respect. People buy people. There are people, very rich people, try to buy people who can go on singing in praise of them. All the court jesters are what? All the scholars and every king had a battalion of people, and the whole day that battalion would go on singing in praise of the king, and it is good for his mental health. Somebody is singing in praise of him, it is good for his mental health, for which he doesn't mind paying money. Therefore, what are you doing? You are buying respect. Are you able to follow? You are buying respect. And once you start buying respect, then the prices can go up and down. Prices need not be the same all the time. Sometimes really the prices go up so much for your respect, then you will not be able to buy respect. There comes a time, then you will have run short of money and you will not have money to buy respect. Don't buy respect. Have respect to yourself. Don't buy respect from others. And when you have respect for yourself, you are peaceful. And the best way of having respect to yourself is say no to yourself whenever a wrong thought arises or a wrong word comes. Try to keep away from the wrong. We are human beings and we should just be reasonable human beings. Be nice. If you are a housewife, be a nice, caring mother and caring daughter-in-law, caring housewife or caring husband, caring son. Simple, reasonable. We don't have to be gods. That's too makes us very uncomfortable. Supposing you have to behave like Lord Rama, is it comfortable? Then you have to leave your wife in some jungle, which is not very, very comforting. Because in order to play the role of Rama, you have to, I think no housewife will accept her husband playing the role of Rama. Why do you want to play Rama? Our need is not to be gods. Our need is to be just human beings, but reasonable human beings. Reasonable. Reasoning people, reasonable human beings. And there is no problem. And therefore here, thus renounce the wrong desires, all right. Then afterwards you get into what is the truth. Now we are going to see the next verse. This is a very important verse. I have told renouncing a desire or keeping a desire is not the answer. One has to come back to oneself. Clear? Now we are going to see a verse, a very beautiful verse. Our main complaint in life is that life should not have any difficulty, dukkha. Pick up this word. Dukkha does not mean mental unhappiness here. In this verse, dukkha means the ruggedness of life, the ruggedness of relationships, the ruggedness, where you have to rough it out. The ruggedness of existence. Sometimes it's not smooth sailing. Sometimes existence is too tough. Survival is too tough. Sometimes a job is too tough. Sometimes business is too tough. Sometimes living with people is tough. Sometimes parents are very tough. Sometimes children are very tough. Sometimes our partner is very tough. This I am going to use an expression called ruggedness of existence. The ruggedness that's there in surviving. Life is too rugged, too rough, too tough, too steep. It's too tough for survival. And whenever survival is too tough, whenever living is so tough, working is so tough, interaction is so tough, everything is so tough, even to get really some milk is so tough, shopping is so tough, everything is so tough. Traffic is so tough, everything is so tough. This toughness, that's a part of existence. The toughness that one has to go through in life in order to survive. That toughness is what Krishna refers to as dukkha. The toughness. It's too tough. And in which country is it not tough? Please tell me. Never think living is easy. For living you have to pay the price. In order to survive, I have to pay the price. I have to pay the price. And that price, don't think, is in terms of money. That price is always, I have to exert my body. I have to exert my mind. I have to exert my emotions. I have to exert myself. Exerting myself, exhausting myself is the price that I have to pay for surviving. Survival doesn't come on a platter. Even if you are a rich man's son or a daughter, it doesn't matter. Even if you are a rich man's child, it's not easy. It's tough. And the toughness of life is felt, if not at one point, at another point, like Rishikesh Road. समझ में आएंगे कहीं ना कहीं. Up to Meerut, it is already, you think it is going to be like this right up to Rishikesh. And then afterwards, अपना स्वरूप को दिखाएगा. It will show its colors sometime or the other. And therefore, similarly, life also is not going to be, it will show its toughness in some department or the other. If it is too cozy in terms of earning money, it will not be so cozy in terms of your relationship with your people. Somewhere the life has to present itself as tough. Some people feel it tough to make money. Some people feel it easy to make money. Some others, they feel it easy to make money, but tough to live with people. Tough to live with one's own family. Tough to live with one's parent. Somewhere life is bitingly harsh. It bites. Life does bite. Sometimes, at some point or the other, it starts biting. And therefore, Well, never, and therefore don't expect life to be too cozy, too much as bed of roses, or a smooth sailing, or free from pinpricks, or etc. etc. Don't look up or don't expect life to be free from toughness. Think of a teenager who marries at the age of 22. Just imagine. He just 20 is nothing. At the age of 22, that boy marries. And within 1 year, the boy and the girl fight and they separate. What must be going on in his mind? What a way to begin life. And what must be going on in the mind of that girl? I mean, starting life on such a traumatic note. And because there are parents to support, you are all right. You are still able to smile because there are parents. That is one glory of India. Because children, when they really bungle, parents are there to give support. Otherwise, just imagine, a boy without parents gets married at the age of 22 and then gets divorced really within 1 year, then what will happen to him? Who is there to support him? That family support is very important. You see? That is why divorces do not matter in India as long as families are together. If it is like abroad, we had it. We will get into trouble. And therefore, is not life tough? And then supposing a person lives on and on and on, two people live, wife and husband live together and children all settle down at the age of 60, one of them goes. Just, at the age of 60, between wife and husband, one goes. It is generally the man who goes first. I mean, what will happen to that person? Is not life tough? And supposing the children look after her, all right, otherwise alone. How many? I have met so many who simply come with tears in their eyes. Children are in America, I am alone. It's very difficult to live. It's not merely financial support that is called support. Because human beings, we are all really, we want some kind of support. You can't sit down, you can't make a cup of tea and sit down alone and take a cup of tea. You want somebody to sit with. We are all used to that kind of interaction, that company, that there is something, there is something to sit with somebody and then really spend time. And therefore, is not life tough? One of them goes. And therefore, Krishna says here, understand, dukkham is inseparable from life. Never expect life to be free from dukkham. If life can't be defined minus dukkham, then why should we expect life minus dukkham? If there is no life minus dukkham, then why do we want to have it without dukkham? If it's not possible, there is no such a thing called a life without dukkham. Did not Pandavas have dukkham? My God, Pandavas, the kings, Bhishma. In fact, whenever I have some problem, I always think of Bhishma. I am better than Bhishma. I am better than, what a problem he had. When you have a bad child, please understand, think of Bhishma. You will have less complaints. He had to deal with Duryodhanas and Dushasanas over Rama, Bhishma. And therefore, the moment we understand that life can't be there without dukkham, then we are receptive to life along with dukkham. We are we are ready to live along with dukkham, despite dukkham. We may not welcome it, but we are there to receive it. When it comes, what can I do? Nor can I look upon myself as a special person that I should not have dukkham. Nobody is special. I don't think I can be more special than Lord Rama. I don't think I am more special than Yudhishthira or those people. They had problems. What am I? Is nothing. Therefore, the wisdom tells that A wise man is one, Krishna says here, Dukkheshu Anudvigna Manaha. A wise man never loses composure amid roughness of life, toughness of life, difficulties of life, ruggedness of life, the tumult, the torment of existence. There is so much of toughness. Udvega, anudvigna manaha means the man, a wise man is one who keeps his composure, who retains his composure amid dukkham. That means composure he can retain amid dukkham. Dukkham means here what? Toughness. Toughness. In Bombay, to reach your workplace, is it not tough? Hey Rama, what I was supposed here, if the other person doesn't give, the car in front, he says, please, somebody is getting down, wait for just a couple of seconds and then I will move. You will look for your gun. 2 seconds, no patience. What about in Bombay? He travels for 3 hours to reach his workplace and comes in the night at 10 o'clock. What about that toughness? That is why, in fact, when life is less and less tough, as for the South Delhi people, when the life is less and less tough, they have less and less titiksha. They have less and less patience. When the life comes with more and more toughness, then they will develop more and more titiksha. In fact, when God makes our life less and less tough, we should also reciprocate to God by way of gaining more and more patience, more and more tolerance, more and more piety, etc. And therefore, Dukkheshu Anudvigna Manaha, a wise man doesn't lose his composure despite difficulties. This is another feature of a wise man, wisdom. We will dilate on this in the next class. Monday we are having class, but on Wednesday happens to be holy, and that day there will be